So I've collected all of the information that I need. We have our lovely bride-to-be right here with us, and we are gonna dive in and do an application. Would you like me to put a cape over you to protect your clothes?
It might get a little warm, so I think I'd like to go without.
There we go. So we are gonna go as we are. There's the slim possibility that a little powder or something could fall. Is that okay?
That's fine.
I'll wash right out in the laundry.
Exactly.
Piece of cake. So there we go. We are armed. We are set. Now remember what she told me. She has dry skin. So the very first thing that I'm going to do before I begin anything, I have a really nice emollient moisturizer. I'm going to go in right away because one thing I want is her to feel comfortable and light. Dry skin with makeup on it all day can sometimes get tighter and tighter and tighter, can it?
Yes.
So what we're going to do is we are just going to work a little bit in right away so that her skin just feels light and fantastic and beautiful. This is something you're going to make note of on the client card at the end, that you moisturize the skin, what you did it with, why you did it. The note about her dry skin and having it be a concern is going to go onto your client card. There, it feels nice and light, doesn't it?
Yes.
And it's appropriate for her skin type. So what's happening is her skin's sucking it right up like a sponge. So I'm going to turn her head just a little bit, just like that. I'm going to go over. See, I'm letting the brush do the work. The skin will take in what it wants to take in, and the rest will move right along. One of the curses of dry skin, and you see she's young and beautiful, but dry skin can do a very funny thing. Sometimes you ever feel like you've got lines that you don't have one day. You suddenly have lines that pop up. That's what dry skin can do. Because it gets dry and lacks the moisture, you can suddenly have a crow's foot where you don't have a crow's foot. Like I'm looking at her, she doesn't have crow's feet, but if you don't drink enough water on any given day, combine dehydration with dry skin, things can sort of pop out that aren't there. That's dehydration. We want to stave off the two of them. So we're really making sure to hydrate the skin because she is young and beautiful and wrinkle-free. And sometimes dryness, when combined with dehydration, and if she's really excited the day of, she might not be grabbing for the water glass as often as she could. So we want to make sure that the skin just looks like $1,000,000. So we've set her up for success. Now I have a little extra right here. I'm going to give this to you, and if you want to rub it right into your hands, you're welcome to. Nice, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we've got her moisturized. Now what I'm going to do right away is I'm going to dive into the eyes. I want the eye makeup to last all day long, so I am going to prime it. I'm just going to take a little bit of primer. With a concealer brush, I'm going to paint it right onto the lids. There we go. Close your eye for me. Now, as we work, if you have any questions, any concerns, any thoughts, you tell me what they are, okay? There we go. Primed. Now I'm going to move on to the second. And she's primed. Okay, so what we're going to do, now she does like the classic look, but we decided deliberately to start her in the natural direction so that we have the opportunity to graduate and see. Because sometimes people do like something classic, but their version of classic sometimes is even more natural. So it's always smart to leave yourself a little room, because it's not that you're going to do something wrong. You're not. Sometimes the woman's going to see it and realize that's not quite what I wanted. That's what the whole trial is about. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a nice light shade. We're going to sweep it all over the eyelid just to brighten up the entire area. So she closes her eye and I brighten up the entire area. It's very close to her skin tone. Now, I'm actually going to go with one that's quite a bit lighter right on the lid, just to pop the area right up. We want it to be good and clean. You see, I'm going right on the lid, and then with whatever's left, I'm sweeping it up, and I'm opening up the eye area. So if she opens her eyes, you see that we've got it clean. We've opened the area right up. That's going to be our step one. Second step in the natural makeup, we're going to go to our little friend, our dear friend, our hero, taupe. Now, she has a different eye. You see her eye is very similar to mine. It's slightly recessed, so you see there's less lid visible, but as she's looking forward, you still see lid. The reason I'm drawing this point up is so that I can remind you, you always look at the bones. The bones are the roadmap to proper application. So when she closes her eye, look, the bone's right there. I'm just going to go in with my taupe, and I'm just going to sweep it right through. I'm going to create a really soft definition. I'm going to pick up a little more in my taupe. I'm going to go in on the other side. I'm going to create a really soft definition. Turn her head just a little bit. There, look straight ahead for me. There we go. We've created a really soft definition that keeps the lid open and bright, puts a little definition in there, and starts to create that depth of look. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to take my angle brush, I'm going to take my black, and I'm going to go right along her lash line. So close your eye for me, starting right at the inner corner. I'm just going to invite the black to softly disappear into the lashes. It's really going to add some easy definition, and it's going to open the eyes right up. All the attention on the top lifts the face, which is something we always want. Now we're going very natural, but we're going natural with a step up. Now there's a saying, the blushing bride. It's for a reason. You want to have that glowiness, that dewiness, that brightness, and some of the trademark colors to that are pink. And there are ways to work that pink in. So what I'm going to do right here, she's going to open her eye. She's going to look straight ahead. We've added some easy definition right at the lash line. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of a very light pink, shimmery pink, to give some pop on those lids. She's going to close her eye, and I'm just going to invite a little bit of pink right in so that those eyes just sparkle. And because her eyes are so beautiful, this color is going to sit right in, and it's going to pick up her own eye color, and it's going to enhance. There we go. So open your eye. There we go. We've added a little bit more brightness in there, just a little bit of extra pop, and it's in a very soft and subtle way that is still going to be very natural. With my highlighter, I'm just going to take a tiny bit and I'm going to put it right underneath the brow bone, and I'm going to go very, very, very soft. I'm going to go right in the inner corner, and we've added just a little bit more brightness, a little bit more attention in the eye. So there we go. Now, she gave me some key information a little while ago, and I'm like a vault. I don't forget a thing. She told me she does not like brows that are improperly done. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take my brow powder, and I'm going to very naturally enhance her brows. Naturally and softly. I'm going to go in with a very fair shade first. And I'm going to go right in, and I'm just going to enhance the shape of her brow. I'm choosing such a light shade so that it'll look just like there's a shadow underneath there, and like I've done nothing at all. That should be our goal across the board with most aspects of makeup. People want to see their eye makeup. They want to see their lipstick. They want to see what the blush does without having it look like they're wearing blush. People don't want to see foundation. They don't want to see brow powder, but they do want to see perfected brows. So what I've done is I have just given her her own brow slightly perfected with a very, very, very light shade. Light is powerful. She gave me another key phrase that's a favorite of mine, less is more, and that's exactly what we did. Now, one thing I'm going to do to, further enhance the eye, I'm going to take my taupe, I'm going to have her look right up to the ceiling, and I'm going to give her just a little bit of a drop shadow on the outer corner. That really starts to open up and accentuate the eye. And it's very soft, so it doesn't look like you're putting a whole lot of makeup on the bottom of the eye. It just makes them pop. There we go. So we're opening the eyes right up. Now, one thing I didn't ask her during the actual trial, it's okay because I'm going to ask her right now. Do you want lashes?
I've never worn false eyelashes.
Do you want to try them?
Okay,
This would be a perfect time to try them, right? Because if you don't like them, we'll peel them right off.
let's do it.
So we're going to try some lashes, and this is the ideal time. Try them today, not the day of the wedding, because they're heavy. If she's never worn them, you're going to feel them. You don't feel them for more than a minute or two. You'll be used to them, but at first there's going to be something heavy on your eyes. Just takes a minute to adjust to, so better to adjust today for the first time, right?
Yes.
There we go. So I'm going to show you two options. Do you want a really feathery pair with some length, or a pair that sits a little more naturally?
I think I'll opt for the natural.
The more natural pair. So these are the two that I showed her. One is really, really, really feathery. And the other is just going to enhance her natural lashes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim down so that they fit your eye perfectly. I'm going to take a little bit off the inner corner. So I peel it away, and I'm going to take off the outer two. They're made very long because some people have really long eyes, and you want to be sure that the lashes fit them. So in most cases, you need to trim just a tiny little bit off the edge. So I'm just going to peel that away, and I'm going to snip off just the last outer edge of that lash. Snip off. If you're ever doing these by yourself, snip off the exact same amount from each one. Now, because I've already laid a little black in there, I'm already halfway set up for success with her lashes. So, I have my mascara ready, I've got my curlers ready, I've got my lashes ready, and we're going to dive right into the lashes themselves. So, I want you to look right here for me. Keep your eye there even when I move my finger. I'm going to go in, I'm going to lift up her lid, I'm going to go in. Am I okay?
Yes.
Pump, pump, pump. And we've opened them up. There we go. Am I okay?
Yes.
Pump, pump, pump. And we've opened them up. Next thing I'm going to do, I've got my clean wand ready. I'm going to take some mascara. And we're going to open up those eyes. This is going to do two things. It's going to open them up themselves, and it's going to prep and prime them for the lash. So look right here for me. I'm going to go in on the top. I'm going to curl and lift. Curl and lift. And there we go. Same thing. Curl and lift. Okay. I'm going to go right over here. Go in from the top. Curl and lift, and then I'm going to sneak in underneath and get them root to tip. There we go. So you see, we could stop there, but she wants to try lashes. So we are absolutely going for a pair of lashes. So I'm going to take off this natural pair. When someone hasn't worn lashes before, it always is great to give them a choice, but a natural pair is even better, because they're going to feel, it's a very unnatural thing that's actually going to feel a little bit more natural. So I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. I'm going to take my tweezers, the round edge. I'm going to put it on. And if she changes her mind about the lashes, most people, when they see lashes and wear them, don't change their mind. They kind of love them. But if she does, it's very easy. You just grab right onto them and you peel them right off. They come right off like a breeze. Anyone who's worn lashes knows that. They're a breeze. So I want to get plenty of glue on there, well distributed so that it's going to stay all day. I'm going to invite them to start to take on the curl, the curve, the shape of her eye. Have my tweezers ready. Just look down a little bit for me. And if you need to blink, you blink all you need to. Just pretend I am not in there meddling. There we go. There we go. So now I'm just going to sort of hold it, invite it to stay there on her eye. In this case, all we're doing is we're adding some depth to her own lashes, because these are her own lashes are almost the exact same length as the false pair that we're putting on. So all we're doing is adding some thickness and depth. That's all we're doing. Okay, look straight ahead. So we've added some depth and some thickness to her lashes. I'm going to put on the other one, and then I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of yourself with lashes. You're going to be surprised that they just sort of amp you up and don't look like curtains sweeping down. I think you'll like them. So again, you'll notice she's everybody doesn't always give you free rein with makeup the way that she did. She didn't give me free rein. She came in with very, very wonderful, incredibly constructive points for me to follow, but she didn't come in with a photograph. A lot of people, it's sort of 50% one way, 50% the other. A lot of people will come in with general ideas, and some will come in and plop down a photograph and say, I want to look like that. She gave me some ideas, and I'm incorporating every single thing that she said into our final plan. And when we're done, we'll know whether or not she likes it. Okay? So look down just a little more. I'm going to go in right on this side. In goes the lash. You invite it to go right along the lash line, just to stick in. I always set it in the center, I work my way over, and then when I get to the inner corner, sometimes I grab onto the lashes with my tweezers and I just push it right in. Push it in, invite it to connect to the skin. You need that nice, strong bond. When it's bonded, hold them there for a second so that everything can stick. Okay, you can open your eye. There. We've added a whole bunch of openness. And lashes, when they're really natural, do a really beautiful, innocent thing. They add that, little girls, when you look at little girls, not just little girls and little boys, always have the longest lashes. And what better day to imitate those incredibly gorgeous, long, endless lashes than your wedding day? In a lot of ways, it's like wedding days are, if you look back at them through history, it's like it's the last day of your innocence. You're being handed from one family to another to start a family of your own. And so there's a lot to be said for that bat of the lashes and that beautiful, effortless, flighty, feathery glow. So look right here for me. I'm going to add a tiny bit of mascara from the bottom just to invite the two to stay together. Now, I'm not going to overdo it because remember, she had some key words and none of them involved dramatic. So I'm just going in and I'm adding a little bit, inviting everything to go together. We've added a lot of life to the eye right there. All right, so what I'm going to do next is I am going to go in and I'm going to work on the skin. So first things first, she's mentioned dryness. So one thing that I'm going to use, sometimes a good thing to make sure she never looks dry, is I'm going to use a skin brightening primer. So her skin stays bright, because another key word that she mentioned was dewy. So I want to make sure she is also dewy and bright in the photographs and everything. So I'm putting in my skin brightening primer that I'm going to use lightly, working it around the skin. Now her skin is very beautiful, so I don't need to use foundation everywhere, and I'm not going to. I'm going to use foundation exactly where I need it, but I am going to put primer everywhere because I want the skin to all have that same beautiful dewy glow. Now you see, every human being, no matter how perfect their skin is, has some areas of discoloration, and they always tend to be kind of in the same place. We all get a little bit here, partially because it's the thing that really hits the sun. We all have a little bit around our nose, areas like that. We all, very often, I can't say we all, because there's always an exception to every rule, but most people have a little darkness under their eyes. And those are things that we're going to pay a little attention to, and those are areas we're not going to skip. There we go. Now, she did say she was not afraid, but disliked the cakiness of liquid combined with powder. So I'm going to use liquid, yes, because we need it for the moisture content that is going to address one of her major concerns, the dryness of the skin. But I am going to set it with a mica powder, which doesn't give any dryness effect, no cakiness. She's not even going to feel like it's there. So I'm going to take off my little bit of extra primer, and then we're going to go right in and apply the foundation. Now remember what I told you about foundation. When you put it on your hand, stand away from the client, because the last thing you want is it to come squirting out and go all over her beautiful white shirt. So I've picked up some foundation. Now I'm just going to go in. I'm going to work a lot off because she has very pretty skin. So I'm going to take a lot off, and I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to work it right in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do half the face so that you can see how it's just perfecting the skin effortlessly, but still keeping her very distinctly herself. That's the power of a highly pigmented liquid. You can really see the difference there in the chin, where you see the redness on one half of the chin, and you see how it's gone on the other. See how the color on the cheeks is really softening and becoming, sort of one with her face? We're just softening everything. Softening it up. I'm going to go right up. Very lightly, I'm going to feather the makeup up, all the way up to her forehead. Just very lightly feather it up. Now I'm going to go to the other side. Feathering it up. You see, I'm putting the bulk of the makeup down here on her forehead, and then I'm just feathering it up to the top. So I'm going to go here, we're going to even out, so now she's not going to have the one slightly red side of the nose, and now it is all even and perfect. Going through, we're working in the inner corner. Look right up to the ceiling for me. So I'm going to get my foundation brush to a fine point, and I'm going to go right under her eye. First with foundation, and then I'm going to follow it up with concealer so that we've got a good bright under eye. Okay, keep your eye up for me for just one moment. Now it comes time to set. So I'm using a mica powder. I'm going to put some on, take a lot off. I'm going to go right under her eye, And I'm going to skip the under eye first, and I'm going to set around it because I'm going to go in with some concealer in there. But I'm going to set the area surrounding it. And while she's still looking up, I am going to grab my concealer brush, and I'm going to go right underneath her eye. Remember, when you're concealing, you're just trying to hit that little half moon. So look right up to the ceiling for me, and I'm going to go in right there, and I'm just going to ask that area to pop right out. Right in the little half moon. I'm going to bring this over. Sometimes we have a little bit of discoloration at the outer edge of our eye, little pink. If we do, we'll just go and we'll get that to right there. We're not going all the way up. We're leaving our eyeliner where it is. We're just getting rid of that little bit of pink and bringing it to a flesh tone. Now, well, keep your eye up for me. With her eyes still up, I'm going to go in and I'm going to even out right around the corners of the nostril. I'm going to go in. There's a little bit of discoloration right here in the brow. I'm going to hide it. I'm going to hide it. And then she's going to keep her eyes up for me for just one moment. I'm going to grab my powder brush, and now I'm going to go in and very gently set it without giving her a cakey look. See, I'm stippling it in to keep the makeup where I placed it. I'm going to go right around her nose. Right around her nose. I'm going to hit that area where I know I put a little bit of color in the brow. Then I'm going to take my fluffy brush. In this case, I'm just going to use my blush brush. I'm going to pick up some powder, and I'm just going to kiss it into the skin, just gentle rolls into the skin. Keeps her dewy and beautiful. And there we go. Now, I see on her forehead one little spot that I forgot. So I'm going to grab a little bit of my concealer. I'm going to go in right there. And I'm going to bring it down. All right. Take my fluffy brush, my powder. There we go. And her face is beautiful and clean and crisp. All right, now what we're going to do to keep everything in that natural feel is I'm going to grab a nice pinky peach blush. It's flirty, it's fun, it's light. What I want you to do is I want you to give me a little smile. And I'm going to work right on her apples, and I'm just going to bring it right up. So I'm going to just invite it to mix in with the foundation. It's going to be soft and it's going to be beautiful. So a little smile, and there we go. Get everything to blend just a little. Okay. Now she wants to do a slight step away from her normal lipstick, and she wants something that's definitely got some emolliency to it, some moisture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my lip brush, and I'm going to give her a color that I think will amp up her lips, that has a little bit more color to it. So it's a slight step beyond the natural shade of her lip tone, and it's a little bit deeper than the lipstick that she actually showed me. But because it's sheer, it's going to just amplify her color without bringing her lips down. Now, what you actually may want to do on a wedding day, which I was about to skip, you might want to take your lip liner and go right in and not only line the lips, but also color them in. Because People are going to do a lot of eating and drinking. And lipstick is the first thing to come off in a photograph, particularly when you're eating and drinking. So line that lip, color it right in so that if she does eat or drink and that lipstick comes off, she still has some color to her lips. And then I'm very softly going to put a nice lipstick on there that gives her a lot of moisture. Okay. Now, one last little thing. We talked about how she really likes her décolleté. We talked about accenting and giving a little bit of pop to that area. So I'm going to grab a highlighter and I'm going to put it on. I'm going to put a little highlighter on the high points of her cheek, and then we're going to show her a beautiful natural bridal makeup and see what she thinks. So I've worked in a tiny bit of highlight. I'm taking a look at it and I'm realizing I want a tiny bit more highlight right here. And then what we're going to do is one of the most important parts of the trial. We're going to hand her the mirror.
Oh, wow. Looks like me, but better.
You like it?
I do like it.
So this is the natural direction. Is it too natural? Do you want to go more in the classic direction? Amp up the eyeliner, pull it out a little bit, maybe enhance the lips a little bit more?
Yes, I think if we could maybe darken the eyes just slightly, maybe with a liner, pull them out, and a bolder lip, I think it would be perfect.
Piece of cake. So what we're going to do is we're going to take her in an adjustment. It's very uncommon that you're going, well, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Sometimes you're going to have somebody who goes, flawless, perfect, it's exactly what I want. You fill out your facial chart, you give a handshake and a hug, and off they go. Oftentimes they're going to want some kind of an adjustment. It's completely normal. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put on some black liner. I'm going to pull it out into a soft wing. I'm going to add a little bit more depth through the crease so that she's got some more sultriness, and I'm going to amp up the lip, and we're going to see exactly where that stands. So with my taupe and my blender brush, close your eye for me. I'm just going to go in right at the outer corner and I'm just going to amp it up. Now I'm actually going to connect the two. It's going a little bit more into the sultry, smoky direction, but it's not a true smoke because I'm not really doing all that much gradation. I'm just adding more depth. I'm just darkening the shade. So open your eye up for me. There. It really just took it to a whole new place with a soft, subtle change. So the next thing that I'm going to do, because it'll make it very powerful, I'm going to pick up our highlight and I'm really going to amp up the highlight right there. I'm really going to amp up the highlight. And then in the inner corner, close your eye for me, I'm going to pepper in just a little more really bright highlight so she has that real distinction. Okay, and she opens her eyes. We've got some added brightness. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my angle liner. I'm going to take my gel. I'm going to remove a little gel. Put it on the back of my hand so it starts to warm up. And I'm going to pick up my color, making sure there are no clumps. Close your eye for me. I'm going to go right into the inner corner and I am going to give her a nice, beautiful, clean, classic bridal line. It's almost going to be in the sort of, 1950s feel, because it's not going to be a full wing. It's going to be a very subtle wing that just takes the eye to a slightly different place. Little tiny baby wing with a little tiny baby wedge on it. Okay, open your eye for me. There. It adds a whole lot of depth to the area. So I'm going to go in on the opposite side. Make sure when you're putting on the liner, you go all the way to the inner corner. Okay, open your eyes for me. Look straight ahead. There. So we're taking it into a completely different place already, just in the eyes. One thing that I am going to do with a really fluffy brush, I'm going to pick up a tiny bit of black so she gets a little bit more, close your eye, of that distinction. And right at the outer corner, I'm just going to put in the black so softly that it doesn't even read as black. But it's really just going to amp it up a little bit for her in that sort of classic, movie siren direction. So she really sees a distinction there. Because what she can then say is, I love it, or she can say, split the difference. But you've definitely created, open your eye for me, a huge change and a huge transition. So what I'm going to do now, because I don't want her to feel too much not like herself, I'm still going to graduate the lipstick. So we're going to amp it up, but we're not going to amp it up into an incredibly bright red right away. If she steps back from it and goes, I want a red, we'll give her a red. But a red is a statement in itself. So instead, I'm choosing something very close to red, but she had given me keywords, and that keyword was sheer. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to work it right in over this. And it's going to be a sheer red that really gives her lips some pop. Give me a little rub. And then I'm just going to tap out the edge just a little bit.
That's perfect.
We hit the nail on the head. We did a little transition that took seconds. I know exactly what I need to take notes on. I'm going to take a photograph, and you are going to have exactly the same beautiful makeup for your wedding day. Sound good?
Thank you, Nathan.
You are so welcome. There you have it, a quick and easy bridal application that shows a change that's probably going to happen. So have a lot of fun, listen to your client, and make sure they look beautiful on one of the most important days of their lives. Okay, so one thing that you're probably going to be asked for a lot is airbrush. Now, airbrush is a technique all in itself, but I'm going to show you very quickly how it can be an easy add-on to a bride. Yes, you can do the foundation from 0 on up with airbrush, but it's also a great way to finish and pull things together. Now you may remember one of her initial things, she talked about dryness. She wanted to look dewy and beautiful. There are all kinds of products that can keep the dewiness in the skin. If I weren't gonna set her with an airbrush, I would grab my favorite makeup finishing spray and I would give her a few spritzes. I'm gonna do it on her chest. I would give her a few spritzes. Feels nice and cool, right? Keeps the face cool, keep everything in place regardless of what you use on the skin. What I'm gonna do on the face is a slightly different alternative. When it comes to foundation with an airbrush gun, you only need to use a few drops. A few drops for perfection. So I've got a couple drops in there. A little bit goes a long, long, long way. So I'm going to turn on my airbrush. The higher up the dial, the more product's going to come out. I want a little like kiss just to add some glow to the skin. I'm actually going to do it in 2 stages. You can do it in 2 or 1. I'll do it in 1 today. There's also products that add a little bit of moisture to the skin. I'm going to put a couple of drops in with that. I'm going to mix it with my foundation. So we're going to have a beautiful glowy face. Now when you put your finger over the nozzle and you pull back, it's called back bubbling. You'll see the product will come up. It'll mix the products that are in the well. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put your finger on it. Close your eyes for me. She's going to close her eyes and I'm very lightly going to just kiss the product onto her skin. It feels really nice, doesn't it? Like a little massage. Now I have the airbrush on really, really, really light. When you're underneath her nose, you don't want to point upward. She won't even need to hold her breath because you're going to be pointing downward when you're underneath the nose. I'm going right in and right under. See, I'm going downward. You don't even notice I'm there, do you?
No.
But everywhere else, it feels like an effortless, easy massage. It's a great way to just kiss a little bit of color onto the skin, keep everything dewy and beautiful, and set and finish the face. So there we have it. There you go. An easy way to add airbrush to your routine if you don't want to do the whole face with airbrush.